Miss Black Woman, the Black Woman, you are incredible. Don't ever let anybody tell you aren't enough, because you are more than enough. You give us a love that we don't deserve. You give us a love that I was too stubborn to realize that I needed. But now I know that I need it. And with that being said, today is about you and only you. This is Unsigned.
Hey, don't worry about the next man, cause I can't play no game with you, ma. I can't play no game with you, ma. Why you stressing? I'm a next man.
This is Unsigned.
Unsigned.
Today, Unsigned. And today we're talking about black women and being black in America. But before we get into that, I gotta talk about Chicks Tape 5.
Chicks Tape 5, dog. If we want to talk about classics, Chicks Tape 5 is a classic. It can't not be a classic. It got 15 classics on there already. And he made them all good. I mean, okay, he didn't make them good. They were already good.
He made them better.
I can't even say that he made them better, but he did them justice.
I can say he made them better.
I don't think that I think that they were good before, and they're still good now.
I think there's a few songs that he did make better.
I can agree with that. But there are certain songs
he did do them justice.
like Jerry Sprunger.
Yeah.
Dope. 100% dope album. But I'm Sprung was already dope.
Unpopular opinion. I think he could have left T-Pain off of that.
Nah, T-Pain, especially at the beginning of the album, I think that he really helped it snap. Like, I wasn't expecting T-Pain to hop on, and then when he did hop on, I feel like he killed it a bit.
I think that was the perfect single too, though, because T-Pain, he's a different beast.
He really is.
People don't give him his flowers though. He deserves them.
Yeah.
Plus, people don't realize T-Pain is Chris Brown's age.
Why he looks so old?
I don't know. When they did Kiss Kiss, I'm pretty sure T-Pain was 21 and Chris Brown was like 20 or something like that.
That's crazy. He's not aging well.
He's not.
Okay, I'm going to have to do my Googles because I don't want to go to sleep.
No, he's only like 32. And Chris Brown just turned 30.
How old?
Did you know Chris Brown made Take You Down at 18? That's talent.
Yeah.
That's real talent.
T-Pain 34. He was born in 1985.
Oh wow. Okay, I was way off then. Breezy's
Chris Brown 30. I mean, they're not too far. Chris Brown older than me. I don't know why I always imagine that he my age or younger.
But he's been famous since he was 16, so it feels like
Yeah.
In celebrity fame years, he's 40s, 50s.
Yeah, definitely about 40 something in famous years.
But Chicks Tape 5 was, I saw a lot of people hating on it, but I don't think you can have an honest, true opinion after one listen.
No, you can't. But after my 6 listens, I can honestly say that album is dope.
It was damn good.
Bro, I listened to, so I was flying from Dubai to Germany, and then from Germany to Louisville. I listened to it twice on the flight from Dubai to Germany because it was like a 7-hour flight.
Yeah.
And I listened to it once from Germany to the U.S. When I landed, I've listened to it 2 times since. It's a good album.
It's a great
album. I think the dope thing about it is it brings that nostalgia that that you get when you listen to Ashanti, that you get when you listen to these other folks, but at the same time, it's something new. Yeah, exactly. So it's got so much replay value just because you know it, but you don't know it.
You know the songs, but it's still new. Like, also, congrats on the World Championship.
Hey, just something light, we ain't got to talk about it. I just do it.
But yeah, that's what's up. I really liked the album though. I really thought he said it took so long because he had to clear the songs, and then he had to clear the artists, and then he had to go back and clear the old record labels, the new record labels.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. Bro, anytime you get he has something clear up from Murder Inc.
Yeah.
Dog.
Yeah. And my thing was, he said he just wanted to put it on Apple Music because his fans loved it. He said he wasn't even making he was losing money for this. So, shout out to Tory because I really liked that album. I don't think it's better than the other chicks tapes, but it's a chicks tape and it does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I liked it all.
Now, speaking of Tory, we do got his arch nemesis coming out with a mixtape, Cuffin Season 3.
Who's
Eric Bellinger.
word?
Cuffin Season 3, it drops like next week, I think.
You know what else is dropping? I don't know if you're a part of Next Door's friend, but he's dropping Friday. It's
Okay.
a lot of good music.
It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Like
The Weeknd tweeted when it's
Yeah.
fall ending. I don't know what that means, but I mean, I feel like it means music is coming.
Yeah, exactly. Like Eric Bellinger said, it's cuffing season.
It is.
Anybody that makes music towards that is dropping something right now.
And I'm gonna get cuffed soon.
No, you're not. you for the streets. You for the streets, Javen.
Yeah, I'm
You for
chilling.
the streets.
But yeah, it was an incredible album, and I liked it, and I don't care who doesn't like it, because
I don't care who doesn't like it either. I'll argue with him.
yeah, I'll be like,
I'll defend that album.
let's listen to it again. You and
Exactly.
me. You and me.
You gonna sit down and tell me what you don't like. We're gonna start it from the beginning right now and tell me what you don't like.
Because we can't be listening to the same song.
We can't.
We can't. There's no possible way we're listening to the same songs. If you didn't like what he dropped last week,
Exactly. Or you just have terrible taste in music,
right?
and you didn't need to be
That's-
listening to the album to begin with.
At that point, that's a you problem. That's like when people. So when Drake dropped Views at midnight, I remember being up and everything, and then people would tweet 20 minutes later, "This album was the worst album I've ever heard." And the album was like an hour and 17
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah. You know, and I know myself personally, I can't judge most music from one playthrough. Even I gotta.
I think it's a mood thing.
Yeah, what mood you're in, and yeah, because I know that when I first heard Kevin Gates, I was not feeling it.
Yeah.
And one day, I don't know what was going on, but I listened to the same album, Luca Brasi 2, and I was like, how did I not like this before? This album goes so crazy, but it was just what I was feeling that day.
It's a mood
So when Drake drops an album, don't rush to listen to it if you know you're not in a Drake mood.
Exactly.
That's just you just gonna be wasting your time.
That's the same with. I know we gotta get to the topic, but that's the same with More Life. People hated More Life.
Yeah.
But now you look back now. Well, you look back. Well, not look back, but you. I don't know what I'm saying. You think now, like so many people say that it's a great album now because
Yeah, because they listened. Yeah,
you have to be in the mood to listen to certain things.
and you know I've realized that with Drake more than any other album really is because his albums do have that certain. It's not something. Most of his albums aren't anything that's gonna get you hyped up like when you listen to a Carter mixtape
Yeah,
or when you listen to.
I can't listen to Drake while I'm working out.
Exactly. So, in listening to his albums, a lot of times if you're not in the right mood when you listen to it for the first time, dog, you're not gonna like it. And that's how I'm like when he drops something, I'll listen to it the next day most likely, and like okay, and then probably like 4 months later, I'm like, what is this? I've never heard this before.
Right.
This is something brand new. Yeah, yeah. But last week you mentioned that you love black women, but even more so than black women, you like the subcategory of ratchet black women.
Ratchet
Am I quoting you correctly?
Yeah.
And like I mentioned, you are for the streets. You are for the taking right
For the
now.
hood.
You for the hood. You for the streets. So, from your perspective of a black man who's for the streets, in love with ratchet black women, specifically, you love all black
We
women.
love all black women. But
Exactly.
specifically, there's a little bit more love for the city girls of the world.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
That's serious. But I mean, I go out, and every time I go out, we just have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
They like I said in the intro, they give us a different type of love that we need. But
Yeah.
we sometimes are too stubborn to know that we need it. But black women make the world go round. They're the reason for the season. I wouldn't be here
Yeah.
More for black women. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and
So.
and I feel that same exact way, dog. Where black women are just something
Special.
you know, and
There's like a special aura around black women.
I think
you
it's
say black people too.
you know what though. I think the aura is the sun beaming off the cocoa butter, create that glow.
Yeah.
It's something
butter,
like that.
shea butter.
The,
The smells.
the smells.
You know, I tweeted something earlier. Well, not earlier. Earlier this week, and I was like, "It's something about a woman's smell still being there after they leave or after you hug them or something
Yeah.
like that." It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Black women always have a distinct smell, not stink, but a distinct smell to them. Like it's always. And it's
Well, because they all-
it's never too much though.
Because
it's
they
always
made
just
out of
right.
the same thing.
Exactly.
They got the black women are made out of cocoa butter, gold, some stardust or something like that. Got to be in there.
And seasoning salt.
Seasoning salt. Yeah. What else they made out
A few
of?
other seasonings.
A few other seasonings. They got some secret ingredients in there
Yeah.
too that we don't get to know about.
It's like black women's secret stuff. The water bottle.
Yeah, like Michael Jordan.
The only black woman.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I think that the dopest thing about black women is I think that with any group of people that no matter who you are, like you should have an appreciation for your people.
Yeah.
And I've never been the type of person, and I'm not trying to get too off the rails or anything like that, but I've never been the type of person to feel like I need to mix, I need to do that. Like, yeah, it's beautiful and there beautiful things come from it. I mean, that's why I'm here,
Exactly.
you know? But at the end of the day, like there's just something so perfect to me about being with a black woman.
Exactly.
And that's why I married a
You're
black
married?
woman. Exactly. And that's why I married a black woman myself.
I'm going to marry a black woman. Eventually.
Exactly. You might if you get lucky. And I just think that for myself, it's something that I consciously was always more attracted to black women than other women for obvious reasons. They're just dope.
With me, I grew up in New Albany. And there's black women in New Albany, but there's more white women. So when I got to Louisville, I was still dating a white woman. And this is not a shot at white women.
Not at all.
I got a lot of love for white women. Your mom's white, isn't she?
My mom is half white.
Half white.
Yeah, but I mean, white people are beautiful too.
They're beautiful.
So are Asians, Latinos, Latinas. Sorry, I'm not gonna say that. Latino men, beautiful. Hey, everybody beautiful, dog. I love everybody, but everybody is special and beautiful in their own right.
Yeah.
And I think that that's very important. That when people listen to this, that it's not a matter of anybody is better.
Tearing down.
Exactly.
Or uplifting.
Exactly, and that's where I'm coming. It all needs to stem from a place of love, and that's where my love from black women comes from.
And that's just like the conversation we were having the other day. That's what I was about to get into, but I was dating a white woman, and then I realized, like, when I made the transition, because not we all, but some of us make the transition or start liking black women first. But I started thinking, like, dang, like, this girl can't really feel like my pain, what I go through every single day, but a black woman can. Like they go through it, and they go through a lot more than us, and they carry a lot of our weight on their shoulders, and they find a way to keep a smile on their face every single day.
Exactly.
Which is crazy to me. How do you not blow up in certain situations?
Well, they do.
Well,
We see that.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah, we definitely. I see it probably once a day, but it's behind closed doors though. It's never like I'm gonna embarrass you in public. So that's why I would want to marry a black woman, want to be with a black woman, have black children running around because they are. It's just like LeBron said. He posted a picture of him and Savannah James, and he was like, I wouldn't be who I am today without this woman. I'm the car, but she's the engine. And we go as she goes. So.
Exactly. And I've always looked at it from the perspective of, you know, I'm looking forward to having a baby girl. I want to have a daughter.
I do too.
So excited to have a girl. And all I think of when I think of my wife, and before I even married my wife, when I consciously made the decision to, hey, I want to marry a black woman, was that when I do have a daughter, her first image of beauty is going to be her mom. That's who she's going to aspire to be.
Exactly.
That's going to be her superhero, her rock, her everything, just like she is for me. And there's nothing I want more than for my daughter to be able to look at my mom and say, hey, I look like she does.
Yeah.
I want to be just like my mom. And I would hate for I would hate for my daughter to I would not like to have married a woman of any other race and for my daughter to look at her mom as an unattainable sense of beauty.
Yeah.
You know, and we're all, and like we know as adults, we're all beautiful in our own rights, you know, and not to say that Asian women or like I mentioned earlier, anyone is any less beautiful than anybody else. But when I got my little nappy headed daughter, I want her to look at her mom and say, wow, we look the same. Like,
and you're beautiful.
And you're beautiful and I'm beautiful, you know, and I just think that it's amazing because that's something that really matters to me. I don't want to have to get over that hurdle of her going to school and, you know, and not feeling that love that she doesn't feel at home either. I want her, if all else fails, to feel that love at home and to know that she matters and to know that she is beautiful. And
that's where it starts. It all starts at home. My friend actually texted us today, the other day, and this is kind of off topic, but he was like, would you rather have a gay son or a whole daughter? And I was just like, it wouldn't matter to me because, they're both going to get love the same. Because the world treats different people so bad.
Yeah.
So, like, I want you to at least feel like you're loved at home.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go out there, how you feel at home is all that matters.
Yeah.
How you feel at home, the love that you receive at home is literally all that matters.
And you know, I think that's amazing because that's how I grew up too. I grew up with only my mom. My mom gave birth to me when she was 15 years old, dog.
My mom was 16.
Exactly. And I think that when people ask me, man, was it tough growing up without a dad? And although I did have my uncle in my life, you know, he was always my father figure, my rock to that capacity. At the end of the day, he wasn't there every single day, day in and day out like my mom was.
She was, and they have to be.
Exactly. They don't. She didn't have a choice. She was
They birth you, and then there's no. They could give you off, but like a lot of black women take on that role. Like, I'm going to. This is mine. This is like my mom did. This is my son. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take care of him, and I'm gonna show him a life that I didn't have.
And what I thought was amazing was growing up with just a mom. I remember times where I'd get upset, and you know, you get mad and you just want to punch something. Yeah. She would say, "No, sit down, calm down. Tell me how you feel."
Exactly. And that's just like so I have another side. When I got in that wreck, my mom knows how I get if there's a lot of people around. I called her, I was looking at my phone. I got smacked looking for my phone. Somebody's tapping on the window. And I immediately called my mom. Mm-hmm. And I'm crying and I'm telling her like what happened. I got in a wreck. She's like, "Where are you at?" And if there's a lot of people, mm-hmm. and something like that just happened, like I'm about to knock a nigga out. Like,
get out of my way.
Yeah, please. Like I don't think it's claustrophobic, but like I don't like
just a sense of like social anxiety. Yeah. Well, not even social anxiety, but a sense of anxiety when you're surrounded by people.
A lot of people being around after something traumatic like that happens. My mom was like, "Listen, Javen, I understand that just happened, but you are a black man in this world, and I need you to calm down." She talked to me and calmed me down. Mm-hmm. And she's probably the only woman. Well, there's a few women that can calm me down like that, but she's always 100% there to calm me down no matter what. She'll answer the phone no matter what time of the night. I actually had a nightmare a few weeks ago, and I was like, I texted her and I was like, "You straight?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm asleep. It's 12:30 at night. Yeah. I got work in the morning." And I was like, "Well, can you pray with me?" And she called me. She asked if everything's okay. I was like, "I had a nightmare, blah 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 blah." And she prayed with me for like 5 minutes, and then I went to sleep. It was cool.
Yeah.
It's just so good to have a black woman in my life and as my backbone.
Yo, like Chance said, I found warmth in the black queen for when I get cold. Like Nat King, I'm doing the dad thing, and that's what I aspire. You know, I love that I have my wife there for that warmth and for that comfortability and for that strength and for that backbone, and she allows me to be vulnerable in ways. Not just in our
you to be yourself.
Exactly, and not just in our relationship, but it has allowed me to have that sense of security, be vulnerable in areas outside of our relationship as well, and that's nothing but growth and
they pull it out of you.
Exactly, and I think that's what's dope is just an opportunity to learn and to grow, and it just happens so naturally when your other half gets it, and I think that, like you mentioned, your mom has brought that out of you to raise you to be the man that you are today. And when I first met my wife, literally, the timeline of us dating was, I found her on Instagram, dog, on Sunday.
Yeah.
Asked her for her phone number. She said no. And I was like, I'm not talking to her again. Wednesday, I forgot that I had mentioned that to myself. Hit her up again.
Consistency is the key.
Exactly. And we were talking back and forth. Asked her for a number again. She said no.
No.
And
Every time's a charm?
no, I never even asked the third time.
Oh, wow.
But she was like, I'm sorry, I just don't feel comfortable doing that. And I was like, no.
Yeah,
and I was like, no need to apologize. It's not like you owe me anything. And although I was in my feelings the first time, I was never.
Been in my feelings.
Exactly, she's beautiful, and you're not gonna give me a number. I know I look funny, but come on now. But I was never upset at her.
Yeah.
So
that honestly would have made me respect her more.
Exactly.
More. Okay, like,
and
really?
I forgot what I said to her, but I said something, and she was like, "Dang, you're really funny. Here's my number." And literally, we FaceTimed that night back when I had an iPhone, dog. Yeah. We FaceTimed that night, and like I mentioned, that was Wednesday. Saturday, I bought a ticket to Florida to fly out there to go see her, and 2 tickets to Disney World when we went on our first date.
That's crazy.
And literally, I just think that it's one of those things where it's just been amazing to be able to have a road dog and a rider like that. Yeah. And ever since then, dog, it's just been crazy. Just special. Yeah, man. Like, and it's something that I would have never have thought would have happened, but when I met somebody that was her, that was as special as she is, it just felt so natural. And
I love that about Todd, because how you said that I don't feel comfortable doing that. She put herself first. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people, or a lot of women. I was actually talking to a few black women. I got a lot of black women friends, and they were telling me, people are just, men are so persistent, and men do this and men do that, so I feel like I have to give them my number.
Yeah.
And I really respect how she was just like, I'm uncomfortable. Like, I don't. And I feel like it's really hard to be a black woman in America, because obviously the sex trafficking is happening, and also men can't take no for an answer.
They can't. And okay, a problem that I have with what we've been seeing a lot lately is this term, fragile masculinity, or which I look at it as such an ironic term or an oxymoron, because in reality, with these men who have their pride rocked so rough that they want to hurt a woman for turning them down, that's not masculinity. That's not any sense of the word masculinity. Masculinity is nothing but positive, just like being a woman is positive. Yeah. You can't look at a man and say that he's acting like a woman as if that's supposed to be a negative, like being and that to me is one of those things where it's like, no, this man is not acting like a man. That's why it is so weak.
He's behaving the way he's behaving.
Exactly.
He can't take no.
He can't take no for an answer.
I actually was talking to somebody in the club, and this guy had I think I told this story before, but this guy bumped into this girl.
Oh yeah.
And I grabbed him up. I was like, "Yo, like this is a lady. What are you doing?" Mm-hmm. Like, and he just looked at me, and it's so crazy that in 2019 you have to say, like, "What are you doing? Apologize."
Yeah.
Like you literally just knocked her
yeah.
out of her head. Like,
and
No apologies, no nothing.
And you know
And
what's
then it's so surprised. It's so funny because he was so surprised. Like, what did I do wrong?
yeah.
Fam, you just, like, what do you mean? What did you do wrong? Are you serious?
And what's so crazy is, I mean, like, out of all the times that I've been, well, out of most times that I've been disrespected by a woman or felt like something was foul, it was never by a black woman. I mean, for example, one time I was walking to class and I held this door open for this young lady. She said, "Excuse me, I have a boyfriend." She wasn't black. I feel like a lot of black women, when they see a black man go out of their way to do something that's kind and it's genuine, you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of them appreciate and accept that, especially if you know that they're not doing it for anything other than just it being the right thing to do. I mean, there have been a few times where I remember when I was walking to class, this girl was like, "Hey, what's up, little daddy?" I love that was before I met Ty, so I'm not even gonna get in that much trouble for saying it. but stuff like that I think is so dope. That's something that you're not gonna give nobody else. Just the
and a lot of black women can spot the genuine and the not so.
Yeah.
So that's why when you catch an attitude, like.
Yeah, I think that the one thing that people have so much trouble grasping is they find it that black women in general are bullheaded,
aggressive.
That they're aggressive, and that they are not like good relationship material. But what I've realized is that I've never had that problem.
Never.
The people who have that problem are the bums, and and black women in particular don't have any time for bums. They don't have no time for anything that's childlike. I mean, we all get caught up in these little stupid relationships from time to time, but for the most part, at the end of the day, she's not gonna fall in line, so to say, if you don't even got your stuff in order. How do you expect her not to talk to you sideways when you don't got a job?
Yeah.
When you don't have no dreams, goals, aspirations, or none of that, and
what do you expect from her?
Exactly. Why am I gonna listen to you if what you're doing obviously ain't working?
Right.
That don't make no sense.
You gonna be the head of my life,
and you barely got a head your damn self. You ain't even got a hat.
Like, come on,
You ain't even got a hat to put on your head, dog. Right. You ain't got a bucket of piss in or a window to throw it out of.
Exactly. Like, come on, fam. Get yourself together.
And I think that with and obviously this can be said for women in general.
Yeah.
However, I'm speaking about black women specifically because they deserve to be spoken about specifically.
Yeah.
Not in general. That, man, when you meet a lot of them, they just want to know that you have something going on.
Yeah.
That when I met my wife, man, she moved in with me like 2 weeks after we met. She moved to Arizona. She moved.
Big leap.
Yeah, exactly.
And we had
exactly, and I had roommates at the time, so we were sharing a bedroom for the first 2 weeks that we were together. We moved out and got an apartment. The apartment was 155 square feet, including the bathroom, including the closet. We couldn't even open the refrigerator,
right,
because the bed was in the way. And she had enough faith in me because she knew that I had goals, aspirations, and dreams. And the story that I was telling earlier, the reason she moved to Flagstaff, Arizona so quickly is when we were talking on the phone, she had told me that she wanted to wait until marriage before she had sex. And I said, well, I'm not tripping because, at this point in time, I had felt like I was looking for my wife specifically.
Exactly.
And I said to her, my mom raised me to be somebody's husband and to be somebody's father.
Exactly.
And I feel like you're the person I'm meant to be that with, And from that moment on, it was one of those things where she understood what my goals, dreams, aspirations were. And it was something that she was able to get along with, even if we were living in a place that was 155 square feet.
Right.
And, I think that it's something that I'm just so extremely, humbled to be able to say, simply because she could be with anybody else that she wanted to be with. And she chose me, even though, from the outside looking in, I was a bum at the time.
Right.
But I knew what I wanted to accomplish and I was making sacrifices. Exactly, and
she
we're
had faith and she believed in you. And that's a real wife. That's somebody that you need behind you.
exactly somebody to grow with,
So when
and
you fall, she's going. Nigga, get up.
exactly. And I'm going to fall. We going to fall. You know,
I'm a little clumsy.
I'm real clumsy. My head big and my feet small. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love black women. I love them all. I feel like they are just, like I said, the reason for the season, and they do a lot for me.
Yeah, man.
They look out for me at all times because I do some stupid stuff.
Man,
They're always there to look out, and they'll be like, "Javen, get your shit together." But like, they'll, all right, I'm gonna help.
even the women that I work with are just so dope to be around.
Yeah.
I mean,
Shout out to Chan.
yeah, Shan, Shatika.
Shan.
You didn't meet Michaela. But yo, just the funniest, most down to earth, cool women. I mean, with dreams, aspirations, goals, dope people to be with, funny people to be around, you know, and it's just always exactly, man. Like when you meet, you know, I mean, I know that Shan, I can't wait to get her on the show. She's an aspiring model. And then there's Shatika.
What she does too.
Yeah, exactly. And Shatika, she is, she's a fashion designer.
Yeah.
And
that's another thing. I'm gonna start wearing like Louisville fashion designer stuff on the show and podcast.
That'd be great. I mean, because we got these beautiful black women who are talented and just are so often overlooked.
Yeah.
And all they need is an opportunity to be
An opportunity and a platform.
An opportunity and a platform. They want to have their voices heard, and
they
want to show their talents.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited that we're building something that allows for them to do that and to be able to give back to people who give so much to us, regardless of how much or how little they may realize. All these people are important. They're all important.
You mean a lot. You mean a lot to us.
Exactly. Black woman, you mean a lot to us.
Exactly.
And I think that this is just something that when we're able to give back to our community in a way that nobody else can, I'm all for doing for us what we can do for us. I don't need anybody else to do it for us.
Yeah.
I want everything that I've earned, nothing more and nothing less.
Exactly.
I don't want to owe anybody anything. And I think that by building up this platform, we can make sure that a lot of people get that same opportunity to do for themselves what they can and what they deserve.
What is being black in America?
Dope. It's dope as hell, man.
It's dope.
It's dope.
I wouldn't want to be anything else.
With great, with how does the phrase go? With
Great power.
With great power comes great responsibility. And I think that black people in general,
being black.
exactly, we have so much power in just the way we affect this culture and the way we affect this country, that, man, but at the same time, like your mom mentioned to you, when you were in that car accident, you got to act a certain way. You got to calm down.
A certain way. I got to train you up a certain way because you're a beautiful black man, but you are, at the end of the day, a black man.
I'm dangerous as a motherfucker, dog.
And you look at 6'7" frame.
Yo,
you could be walking down the street.
You know how much I appreciate that?
What?
That people just look at us and think that we dangerous. Like, to know that you are so fragile as a person that you're like, no, I don't want to have nothing to do with it. I don't want to. This person scares me. I don't know why.
Not even doing anything.
I don't know why this person scares me. I mean, but that's what it is.
That's what it comes down to. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Fear. You fear what you don't know. That's the quote. And being black in America is I like I said, I wouldn't change it for anything. I wouldn't want to be anything else because being black is being special to me. Not slow, but special. But yeah, I wouldn't want to be anything else because there's so much culture behind it. There's just so much love behind it. There's a lot that comes with being black.
Yeah.
Now I can't speak for white people because white people are white people and I'm black. So, but there's a lot of culture behind being black.
And you know what? I think that the main one of the coolest things I think about that, what you just said, was that when we look at the history of the growth of black people and black community, man, what black people had accomplished before 1930, before 1940, before integration,
It's crazy.
was amazing. What black people were able to accomplish in their own communities as far as black-owned banks, schools, supermarkets, all of that. And I think that we as a people at one point got so caught up in integration for the wrong reasons. We didn't care about going to school with white people. We didn't care about living in white neighborhoods. We wanted to go to a white school because that's where the best education happened to be. That's where the best materials happened to be. We didn't want to go live in a white neighborhood because we wanted to live around white people.
And we were talking about that yesterday. My friends were saying, would we have been better off segregated? And
Definitely.
I said, well, I agree with that, but I said, if don't get the wrong idea, but if white people didn't white people, if they weren't trying.
Yeah. And this is why white people messed it up for themselves, right? Black people didn't want to even be in white schools. Black people were fine with separate but equal, but it wasn't equal.
Yeah, that's the thing.
All they had to do was say, okay, we're going to shut you up. We're going to give you exactly what we have. If they did that,
Allow us, and we would have
been cool because
my friends said that they were like, if they would have given us the same thing that they received in America, like what we deserve, then segregation would have been perfectly fine. I would have been fine with it.
When I went to Boise State, I felt so out of place. I was the only black person in a lot of my classes. I was the only black person in a lot of places I went. I love it here in Louisville because there's so many doggone black people around.
So many. And they're diehard Louisville fans. And it's just so much.
There's nothing wrong.
There's nothing like Louisville.
There's nothing wrong with being around people that look like you.
Yeah.
At all. I think that's amazing, and it's something that should be appreciated. You know, I don't think that anybody.
I appreciate it every single day.
Like I said, I want everything that I've earned, nothing more, nothing less. I don't need to be part of a community where I'm not wanted, but I do think that if I've earned X, Y, and Z, I need to receive X, Y, and Z. And if I got to be in your face to get it, then that's where I'm gonna be.
Exactly. And my thing is, with saying that, what did you say?
About what?
What you just said?
I want everything I've earned, nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, I have a terrible memory, so I just lost my train of thought. I'm not even gonna try to figure it out either.
No, you good.
It happens it happens every single day.
Yes, it's all right. I think that at the end of the day, the moral of not necessarily the story, but
I figured it out.
Yeah.
As long as we come together, my friend Rod, one of my best friends, he tweeted out. Well, I tweeted out too. I said we have to quit hating on each other because we can take over the world. Not in a negative, but we can take over the world. And there's more than enough plates on the table for everybody to eat.
Yeah.
It's just like when people were hating on little Zaza. Zaza's 4 years old.
Yeah.
Zaza's 4 years old. She can barely talk. She's not even old enough to be in kindergarten yet. But here's the thing. It's only black people hating on them.
Yo, when you look at...
low-key, it's only black men hating on Zaza.
Which
is weird to me.
When you look at the Asian communities, and when I say Asian, I mean, you know, whether it's Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Indian, they have a support system within their community like no other. In the early 1900s, when Chinese people were beginning to, well, not just beginning to migrate to the United States, but when we had a lot of people migrating out this way, and they began to put limits on how many Chinese migrants can enter the States, what they did do was allow for people in, like, let's say San Francisco, for example. If you owned a business and you were generating a lot of income in that neighborhood or in that state, what they would allow for you to do is to say, hey, okay, well, we're going to allow your business to get X amount of people from your home country to get citizenship to the United States. So what these people would do is say, okay, cool, bet, that's a plan. They'll go get X amount of people, bring them back, and say, okay, now you guys, we're going to get you guys a business so that you guys can get together and you can get the rest of your family out here. Okay, boom. Now we're going to get this family a business. We're going to pull our money and put everything together. And I think that at the same time, although that worked for them, when you look at what happened with the black community, with Black Wall Street, and how
we were on the come up.
Dog, they destroyed the entire city.
Destroyed.
You know?
Destroyed.
And it's not even a matter of black folks didn't try. They was doing good by themselves. They, you know, I could do bad all by myself. But I just think it's really interesting that, you know, there's always going to be a hurdle that you got to face, and it's really tough when you've been conditioned to think that the person who could be your greatest ally is actually your greatest enemy, and vice versa. And I think that, you know, we have so much room to grow as people, and that there's just so much room for positivity and change, and it all starts with just conversations and just and, you know, it has to come from a place of love.
And also not calling somebody a coon, or saying, they said this on a First Take, when you disagree with somebody, you don't have to call a name. We can have civil conversation, we can have fine communication without saying you're a coon. And I don't agree with what Stephen A. said on First Take. I don't agree at all, but I'm not gonna fix my lips to say he's a coon because he's a black man in America.
Exactly.
He goes through what I go through.
And at the end of the day, the last thing we need is for somebody who is like us to have a platform and to try to tear that platform down.
Exactly.
I mean, we got Stephen A., we got Shannon Sharp.
We got would you consider Nick Wright black? Chris Carter.
Yeah.
I think he just got fired.
But you know what I mean? Like, so we got so few people, and we trying to tear them down as soon as they say something that we don't agree with.
And that's the thing. These people don't owe us anything. So if you trash my name, I don't have to help build you up.
Exactly.
I'm just go, all right, I'm going to go where I'm loved. These white people love me, all right, I'm going to mess with them.
Yeah. But, you know, I think that, like I said, we have so much room to grow.
We got a lot of room, especially in Louisville, because Louisville is a very special place, and a lot of special talent, and a lot of special artists, and a lot of people that have passions, but they need to be seen. Yeah, and we're on the way to being seen. Louisville's on the way to being an incredible city. It's already an incredible city. I love living here, but it's on its way.
And with that being said, we want to remind everybody who's watching that make sure that you subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe.
Leave a comment if you've already subscribed, just so that we make sure that we continue to, you know that y'all watching and that y'all supporting the channel, and you will give yourself a shot to win an Apple Watch or an iPad. I've gotten a few people think that they was gonna get both, or they buy. Yeah, exactly.
You can buy one and we'll give you the other.
Exactly. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel.
Please.
Leave a comment. Let us know how you feel. Let us know what influences you, or what you like most about being black.
Exactly.
And we are really looking forward to building up this channel, building up this brand, and making the most that we can of it. And as we spoke about before, this is not just for us. This is about for everybody watching. Exactly. We have 9 subscribers right now. And that's a big deal, man. It does make me happy that we have true supporters. I'd rather have, 9 real subscribers than 100 fake ones who are not really down for what we believe in, who aren't down for the growth that we want to see. And they say that we need to be the change that we want to see in our communities, and that's what this platform is about, is building up our community, building up our people, and building up everybody who believes in what we do as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, he hit it right on the head. And like I say every week, I say it can be big, but it starts with you guys. So for all the subscribers, the nine subscribers that we have so far, thank you guys. Because like I said, it starts with you guys. And it ultimately ends with you guys if you want it to. So we're headed somewhere special, and I'm extremely grateful and extremely thankful to have you guys back us, because just like you all believe in us, we believe in y'all. So I don't have anything else to say.
That being said, this is Unsigned, and we out of here.
I think me and you can be a banging combination, 'cause I got to know you.